It's really just a kind of piano-y piece, you know, so like a bluesy piano thing. And the idea came from a sort of Madonna and Child that you see. It was to be a song about mothers bringing up kids, kind of a tribute. You know, how do they do it? I mean, really, how do they do it? You know, and that was the idea. You know, that's what the lyric says. You know, Lady Madonna, baby at your breast, wonder how you managed to feed the rest. You know, how do you put it together when all these various things are happening? A funny thing I noticed recently is in the lyrics it has every day of the week except Saturday. For some reason, Saturday vanishes. I guess it must have been a party night. Because if you listen to it, it goes, Friday night arrived without a suitcase. Sunday morning, creeping like a nun. So, I mean, it must have been a real good Saturday, I figured. He was just creeping around like a nun. I'd never noticed that till we came to rehearse it. You know, this is the thing about relearning these songs. Suddenly realised I left one day out. Penny Lane is a place in Liverpool that was kind of central when I was growing up, because it's a bus depot. We used to call it a bus depot. So if you take one route of bus and you've got to change routes and go off this way, it's Penny Lane that you change at, you know. So when John and I were writing songs later, we often used to just hark back to places that we both remembered, you know. And I came up with this idea for Penny Lane. There'd been a barber shop, which is still there actually, where, you know, those haircut photos where you can choose what haircut you want. It's kind of, it's like almost like a pop art kind of thing, those photos. So, you know, that got the line, there's a barber showing photographs of every head he's had the pleasure to know. So that's him. And then on the other corner, Penny Lane, is a bank. So I made up this story about the banker and the motor car and the children laughing at him. And then just down the road there is a fire station. So we made up the story about the bloke with the clean machine. I tied it all together, and then the last verse is behind the shelter in the middle of the roundabout, which is the Penny Lane thing itself. They're just memories, really, you know, pulled together and given a kind of slightly poetic treatment. And it's really just memories of my Liverpool childhood. That was originally written for Ringo, because on the early Beatles albums, you know, all the guys had their own pockets of fans. You know, there'd be George fans, Ringo fans, John fans, and Paul fans. And there was always quite a legion of Ringo fans. You know, they just loved Ringo, you know. So you always thought, well, we can't not have him do a song. And in the early days, he knew a couple of songs he used to do with his previous group. He used to do the Shirelles song called Boys, which is kind of weird, you know. So yeah, I'm talking about boys. We never thought about boys, girls. It doesn't matter. It's just a good song, you know. Never realized a guy singing a song about boys had implications. You know, what the hell, it doesn't matter. Just a good song. So anyway, the album came up and we had to find